Good everyone, my name is Markian Pogimoto and we will be discussing today about what is SOGIE in the perspective of college students and college instructor of Surigao del Norte State University. But before that, let us briefly discuss and give you an example of what is SOGIE. So, let's start our discussion. So the basic definition of SOGIE is sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. So what are these? So let's explore it one by one. The sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression of a person or gender being. First, we're going to discuss what is sex. So it is the biological aspect of a person. So when we say biological aspect, it is the anatomical refers to the parts. For example, when it comes to male, we have penis. When it comes to female, we have a vagina. Penis and vagina for intersexes. So when we say sex, it is what the sex assigned at birth, whether you're a male or a female. For short, the biological aspect of SOGIE. Then, sexual orientation, an enduring and physical, romantic, and or emotional attraction towards another person. So basically, the sexual orientation is who are you attracted to and in love with. For example, a man is in love with a woman. So, the man is sexually attracted to women. Also, sexual orientation is not defined by sexual activities because when we say attraction, it is who would we loved, who would we are attracted to. It's not defined by sexual activities because some people as a people or they just do it for fun. So that is not part of sexual orientation because sexual orientation is not defined by sexual activity. So even if I engage into sexual intercourses with some people, but because it is my work as a prostitute to give the services, then it is not an attraction or love towards that person. That's why sexual activity is not related to sexual orientation or not defined. So sexual orientation is not defined by sexual activity. Our gender identity is our emotional image and personal understanding of ourselves. It is internal sense of being male, female, or something else like binary. Gender identity has nothing to do with sex organ or genitalia of a person. Because when we say gender identity, it is how we identify ourselves. So, for example, I identify myself as a woman, even though my biological or my sex organs are XY chromosomes, or let's just say I have a penis. My appearance is a man, but my identity is a woman because that's how I identify myself, how I see myself as a gendered being or as a person. So it is an internal sense of being a person, being gendered. So that is your gender identity. It is defined by you and not by anyone else. Okay, so how you feel about yourself, how you understand yourself, that is your gender identity. Lastly, we have expression. So when we say expression, it is a socially constructed roles and behaviors. For example, masculinity and femininity. What is a real man based on society or your community? What is a real woman based on your society? So when we say what is a real man, they say, let's just say here in the Philippines, men or masculinity, a real man, is defined by you're the ones working, providing for your family, and you're always out for the work. While when we say women, what is a real woman, it is defined by being caring, being a good mother, or a housewife. More on that societal norms and expectation. So gender expression, it is actually constructed roles and behaviors of a specific nation. To better illustrate what I meant, here's the gender-bread person. So it shows you the identity, the expression, the attraction, and also the sex of a person. But also, SOGIE components can be independent of one another, which means that sex is not, could not be in line with the sexual orientation, be in line with the gender identity, and could not align with the gender expression. For example, me myself, my sex is a male because I have XY chromosomes, male genitalia, but when it comes to my sexual orientation, the norms or the societal norms would say I should be attracted to female. But in my case, my sexual orientation is on the same gender. And when it comes to my gender identity, I identify myself as a woman. So there's nothing you can do about it. That's how I identify myself. So can you see the pattern? My sex is a male, but my sexual orientation is into men, and my gender identity is a woman. And my gender expression, when I'm at school, I wear my male uniform because it is a school policy. And even when I go outside, my gender expression is on, let's just say, somewhat feminine, but more on masculine, because I love wearing men outfits than female outfits because it doesn't suit me. Okay, so my gender expression is more on toward masculinity. I am an example that of SOGIE components can be independent of one another. So let's talk a little bit more about the gender equality here in the Philippines. So I found a research article about the fight for equality, the advancement of SOGIE equality bill in the Philippines, produced by Mandagat of 2021 in May. So this paper talks about the SOGIE bill is not only for the LGBTQIA community, but about equity, acceptance, and the right for all genders. As I highlighted, all genders, because everyone has a SOGIE. Everyone has a sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. It is a normal thing. The misconception here is that SOGIE bill or SOGIE equality bill is or a protection more on towards the LGBTQIA plus community. But the truth is that SOGIE bill protects everyone, all genders. As this research paper concluded that SOGIE equality bill, it is for everyone. There's no slice bigger for you, and there's no slice bigger for the LGBTQIA community and those of the heterosexual, because it is for everyone. So this misconception really leads to a lot of superiority, which determined like pagara, that is somewhat disappointing here in the country Philippines. Here are some references for the information in these slides. So without further ado, let's go and proceed to our interviews, where we cover a lot of perspectives of students and instructors of the Surigao del Norte State University. So let's go ahead to our interviews.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Sofia Carbeta Salva, a third year BSES student.
Hi, I am trans student Sis Pinido, 24 years old. I am currently employed as a guest lecturer under the College of Arts and Sciences. Hello, good afternoon. Good day, rather. So I am Ace Verhan Luigi Villamor, a fourth-year student from the Surigao del Norte State University and is taking up at PM Baccalaureate in English Language.
Hello, I am Alexa Marie M. Basu from BSN English 1A.
So good morning. My name is Oliver Aplaya. I'm a BL student, fourth year here at SNSU.
I am CCGA student in the past faculty as a guest lecturer. Funding social sciences subjects. 25 years old. This is my first year. This is also start.
It's actually funny because people have always known it, and I have been denial with my identity ever since when I was a kid. When it came out, I didn't really came out because they already knew that I'm gay, or at least everyone already has their hunches about who I am, what I am. It's not easy, but at the same time, it wasn't hard to get it. Although I have used in me since childhood that I have been feminine. Yes. People are talking about taking notes about it, and I guess they just kind of they didn't judge me though. They have been very accepting, especially my parents, my family in general. My Nika with me has always been supportive of me. She even told me once when I was around grade 3 or something. She told me once, it's okay to be gay. I'm here for you. I have makeups here. I have gowns for you. I will make gowns for you. I was like, I don't know about that. My grandparents, who's with us at the time, was like, it's not actually a problem as long as you grow up good, as a good person, and I'm willing to do everything that I can to raise you to be a good person. And she wasn't wrong. And I hope I made her proud. I made my family proud. You know, being gay is fun.
Fun fact, very late bloomer kayo ko sa buong identity. I mean, during those days na medyo tigit na kayo when naka-bloom or explore sa po ang field. Pero the year 2012, when I was in high school na, I've been slowly discovering myself and identity, which is ako po na feel towards sa mga na kayo. Being that age, wala pa kayo knowledge or truly man feelings inside your heart. Like, wala pa kayo knowledge of SOGIE, wala pa kayo knowledge about come out. Eventually, medyo nahinahing also sa mga friends na nagpanibot sa kuha. Medyo dito na ako na-discover yung sa ginawa. That time, na-embrace na ako siya in a way na kanang happy ko, na ginawat na ko siya, truly accept na ko siya sa unahon ako sa kasing-kasing till na yung mga times nung nagpuan ko ka ng murag tao ko, like siguro nagpuan na ko ani ko nag-explore lang ko, but na-realize rin ako na after gawas na ko ang dito na ko siya na-embrace kay nami tao nag-accept na people around me, my friends, even my family, they never put pressure on me or patinikinan na so but at the end they accept me sa job so mag-embrace na ako ang katulungan.
Well, I am bisexual. I love watching beauty pageants, especially for women. At a very young age, my friends and I would pretend that we were Miss Universe candidates. It was during those moments that I realized to myself that I am not straight and should just embrace it. And now, I love watching beauty pageants even more. Being openly gay is both a privilege and at the same time makes you a subject for discrimination and a lot of disadvantages in the society. But at the same time, I'm focusing more on the bright side of the things that I'm going through right now, especially here in the SNSU. Because I have been raised to always see the good in everything, especially in people. And when you say how much it influenced me, being gay, being gay is kind of We've always been known to be bubbly and funny, and I get to use that here, especially because I have very accepting friends, circles of friends, and it's making my academic journey more easier than it's supposed to be. I mean, being gay is hard, just like being women who faces everyday struggles from discrimination to being subjected to various stereotyping. That's it, stereotyping. So yeah, being gay and studying here at SNSU is, I have to say, okay, yes. I'm not gonna say that I didn't experience discrimination or being stereotyped as weak or something, but I'm doing well.
For me, as a student, it influenced in a way na kanang i-share na ka kung ang ako ang life sa mga tao na dili pa kayo open-minded sa kanina nga mga butang. Siguro sa akong identity karon medyo dili na lamang siya ingon na naka-closet gani, but na-open ako siya through sa ako ang courage sa akong self na kanang once i-open ako ang pagalingon sa mga tao, then I know I can influence by telling my story kung unsa jud ko as a student. Dili ra ako basta-basta student na member ng SOGIE or member ng LGBT or member ng community na wala ra lamang dili man gud ma-define sa ko ang identity as a student na for example kada kitang kung part ako ng LGBT, wala siya hindrance na sa student. Kaya kami, maka-influence me in a way na kanang maka-contribute me with our talent, maka-contribute me with our skills, and whatever kung say, pwede na ma-contribute sa school or sa as a student, and pwede naman na ma-influence sa mga tao na katong mga tao nga nag-disod pa or come out, nag-disod pa share sa ilang mga stories sa life because of the society very conservative. So in our story, kami ang may voice din maka-influence siya. That's all.
When I was still a student, my social identity influenced my life in the best way possible because through that identity, I gained more friends and experienced a sense of freedom. And now that I am employed as a faculty member here at SNSU, it continues the same as when I was a student.
Yes, I can feel that SNSU is very supportive of our LGBTQ plus members that are enrolled and is working here. I've seen individuals, I know individuals that are part of the LGBT community and is working here and pretty well accepted. And students like me, open and gay, is well accepted here. There are some things though that needs some improvement. Let's say, would it hurt is, I'll say that the student handbook is kind of outdated because if they really want to impose a gender-friendly campus or university, then something about guys wearing their sunscreen, just like what I told you earlier, that this school needs to be more open. They need to expand their horizons, and they could start doing that by modifying and upgrading their student handbook because those people who are involved at enforcing the laws here are just following the handbooks. And I can see from what I've read that the handbook is still outdated and it needs improvement. Although I can say that we have God here, God. That's it's really focused on women as of the moment, but like I can see God as a stepping stone towards a more inclusive Surigao del Norte State University, and it's doing its job well recently.
To be honest, a regular student ko, I've been here sa school for almost 1 years na, sikat na school na, kaya tuman sa staff ko. During those days, wala pa kayo ko kita kung inana ba ka-supportive ang SNSU when it comes to LGBT kay kanang high standard bang good kayo matong especially na kanang university na siya before dili kay na siya na naka-open kay tungod kanang naaji na consider mga protocols din sa school, bawal ang kanang pataas ng hair sa mga male, bawal ang mga lesbian nga mag-uniform as men. Dara nga aspeto wala kay na ko na nakita nga supportive ang SNSU, especially now nga university na, so daghan siya gino-consider, daghan siya kailangan gina-follow ana. Siguro sa lain bahin o kanang activity sa organization medyo lesson pa, dili pa ina naka-open, dili pa ina naka kanang tawat nung like activities sa kanang pwede for LGBT ana, or nag-implement man sila program for LGBT ana, medyo lesson pa kayo, dili pa ina nakabongga, dili pa ina naka-open. Like, I remember 2018 na nag-ask ni student nga kaya ba nga mag-implement og kanang gay pageant sa school, but dagang discussion at the end wala siya natuman. So medyo kana nga aspeto wala pa kay kaingon nga, dili pa ko makaingon nga supportive ang SNSU when it comes to LGBT, sa pag-support din sa LGBT. Siguro times in a particular na siguro I mean no, in certain way na support gyapon ang mga ang SNSU in a way na kanang i-accept sila. Like, kalabitang siguro, kung in literal nga pag-gastin nga, wako sila gi-block dra sa entrance mga, way, bayot man ka, dili siguro kanang, I mean, nadawat sila ka ng mga, kung matter kung sa imuhang SOGIE, kung matter kung sa imuhang identity. Siguro, dito lang sa katong pagbukid lang, kanak.
I would say that SNSU have always been very supportive toward LGBTQ plus community, and if I may suggest, it could be even better when or if the SNSU implement more activities focusing or that focused on celebrating the LGBTQ plus community.
This one is deep-rooted and deep-seated in my experience, really, because being gay, everyone always thought that you're less capable than our cis brothers and sisters, you know? I've always been made to believe that we are less than what human beings should be. But no, that is actually wrong. You know, one time, I just remembered, it was in 2019, we had an inauguration celebration about LGBT visibility or something like that in Dinagat Islands, and I attended one of the events. It was a social night, and there I saw a lot of gay people or people in the LGBT community being in the high-ranking positions in the armed forces of the Philippines, like the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, even police personnel in their high-ranking positions. Like, oh, it is possible. You're more than just gay. It was like, that really inspired me to be more, to strive for more, to be bold. I want to be like them, or at least do similar things like them, even probably greater than what they do. It's just that it's amazing to see that there are gay people in those fields, which a lot of people thought it's impossible to be there in the first place, especially when you're gay. But then they prove us wrong. They proved me wrong. And that's amazing.
Wala pa kay pwede ka nang na-encounter ng misconception about sa LGBT itself. Pero siguro ma-misunderstood nila pag once ko ang part ng LGBT. Kung bang tawag una nila sa kanang LGBT for fashion, like for fame, for clout, for something nga kanang pang-viral lang kana. Pero daghang pag kayo ma-offer ang LGBT, ang member ng mga LGBT. Sa nakita nila kay LGBT ang imo ra contribution kay kiat like kanang pag-aaral na lamang, pero we can offer more than that. Sila palang tan-awon sa laing anggulo ng LGBT. Daghang pagid kay contribute in terms of kanang sa organization, in terms of kanang mga kanang extracurricular na activities. So ina siya sana sa mga misconception. As of now ay tama, so now ang ato ang US President part ng LGBT. So dra pa lang misconception yun na siya mga LGBT walay ambag gani like walay makontribute because part sila ng LGBT pero I can also may leader sa isang organization.
Two things that come to mind when I think of common misconceptions about LGBTQ plus individuals. First, that we have mental illness. Second, that we are unintelligent. I myself personally have encountered this, and I would say that it's not true. In fact, I am a published writer and I recently graduated cum laude.
You know, your friends defines you, right? Your circle of friends defines who you are as a person, or at least will dictate a lot of people as of who you truly are. And based on from my circle of friends, I have a lot of friends though, I did not feel a single case of discrimination against or stereotyping against me. There are inside jokes, but those are purely jokes. They say jokes are half meant, but not on my friendship circles. I can really tell that I am very well accepted in every group circle that I have. And that's where I felt truly accepted. And my family too was very supportive of me.
Sa akong church lang ko is very conservative when it comes to ng LGBTQ Christian and nailahang mga panindigan medyo dili pa kayo open but in ko ay wala man gyapon nilagay pa feel sa ko ang kanang oy LGBT ka medyo duduwa sila sa imong approach or like duduwa sila mo tab sa imong needed kanila ana na feel na ko nga gi-accept ko nila siguro tungod kay committed ko sa ko ang marugan like kung dili hindrance ako ang paglabayo kung simba ko anak kung serve ko sa pareho natong pagkakita. Same year sa school, ako mga classmates, ako mga faculties, ako mga instructors na ko. Wala ko na nila ginapakita nung nga kanang iba ka, like wala nila ginapafeel sa imo nga kanang nahi ka tungod kay ang imong identity gay baka lesbian baka kina-accept yun kanila walay question, walay agenda. Kinadawat din nila truly, sincerely, and kanang pure jud kayo.
The moment that I truly felt celebrated, accepted, and respected for being who I am was when I was in college. When I made friends who didn't think or who didn't treat me as if I were different. Instead, they embraced and accepted me for being who I am.
One particular memory I have, which happened in this very school, in this very campus. It was the last day of school before Christmas break last school year. We were having our Spanish class at 8 a.m. and I arrived here at 7:40 or 7:50 around those times. I wasn't wearing anything on my lips. I was just wearing my sunscreen and my curler. I curled my lashes. You can tell. Yes, I did curl, but I did not put my lipstick on. And then one of the guards stopped me by the entrance. She was like, "Why are you wearing makeup?" I was like, "What do you mean? It's not makeup. It's sunscreen. We're all supposed to wear sunscreen to protect ourselves. Not even for the sake of art. I just want to protect myself from the scorching sun early in the morning." And she was like, "No, you're wearing makeup. Remove your eyelashes." I was like, "What do you mean remove my eyelashes? It's natural. I just curled them." It's like, "No, remove it. Wipe it off." And then I wiped it off and nothing came off because, as I said, I just curled my lashes. I did not put on any lash extensions or any of those kinds. And then she pointed out my lips. My lips were naturally red at the time because when I brush my teeth, I also brush my lips to exfoliate those dead skin cells in the morning. I was like, "I'm not wearing anything. What?" And then she proceeded and insisted that I should wipe it off. And then I wiped it off. I showed it to her. "See, there's nothing in the wipes because I didn't put anything." And she was taken aback for a second and was like, what now? Are you gonna let me in? It's like, yes, I'm gonna let you in. But next time, do not wear makeup. What do you mean makeup? I'm not even wearing makeup. It's like, oh, there has to be some changes here in school. Either from the personal who's involved or something around the student handbook. I don't know. We're gonna find out.
The time nag-come out na jud ko as kung kinsa ko or kung sa ama ko identity, daghan na jud kay siya discrimination. Let's say nila lang sa school, sa aspeto, ma-discriminate ka, it's because you are contributing. Gawas po ka ang bias nito. Which nila gid mo malikayan kay sa nice sa organization gid na dili mo malikayan nga ang tao dili kayo open sa kung sa ang imong identity. That moment na discriminate ka kay siguro na yung mga certain activities na dili siya salib sa imong it's because kina-question ang imong abilities because LGBT ka and na gani so kana na discriminate nako and ma-feel gid nako ang bias ana. And siguro ginsan ako siya mag-handle siguro maybe ako lang ginapakita kung saan akong kakayanan kung saan akong kapasidad and kung saan ako kung asa ko capable and I can show to them kung kaya sa mga street then kaya ko na muna as part of educating and maybe siguro dili man ni ina intelligent pero kinana mi ka talented kinana mi ka skillful nga kanang haton ang mga certain ang titig ni makay si ina na lang ko na siya gihandle murag ginatanaw na ko na siya nga na-positive view ay na-positive side sa type is a moment nga pa na ginabayo sa ginadiscriminate ka and ginatanaw na ko na siya as positive because I know nga wala ka sila nakasabot sa kanina naasa ka ng LGBT.
I believe that it is a normal part in life for an LGBTQ plus members to face challenges, and with that I personally handle it with positive self-talk. I always tell myself that I am worthy and that I am limitless.
You do not need to explain yourself towards anybody. You do not even owe them of coming out of your story. Just be yourself. If you don't feel comfortable going out of your shell, stay there. Sit with the grief, with the fear of being judged. And take your time. Because one day, you will finally have the courage, once you've mustered all and everything that you've gone through, you've mustered all the courage to come out. Just take your time and come out whenever you feel like coming out. Don't pressure yourself. You don't owe anybody anything.
First of all, kanang kung i-accept yun mo, kung i-love nyo yung kagaling yung dili na dapat i-please sa mga tao. No matter kung sa ilang mga comment about yours, about you or about your life, about your identity. Kung sa imong goals sa imong life, dapat focus ka dito does it matter kung daghang mga tao nga mo tapak ni mo sa part ng LGBT. Hinumduman lang nato ang ato ang pinaka main goal is makahuman sa school, makahuman sa ato ang pag-eskwela. So focus na dapat lain na tanda kanang goal. Kaya kung ato mag-gong i-include ang mga negative thoughts, negative comment, mga negative mga maatubang nato, ma-distract ta. So ato na siya set aside kay first of all, dili man gud sila makaambag sa imong life and dili na sila makahatag og kanang encouragement, dili na makahatag kanang boost sa imong confidence kung imo na silang i-entertain. So for me, focus ka sa imong goal. Kung sa jud ang pinaka main goal nimo as a student as an LGBT, no? So kana imong goal.
The message that I would give them is that you only live once. So choose to be happy and please don't worry that much about what other people think.
For me, SOGIE is a platform where you can truly understand your sexual orientation, gender, identity, and expression. And of course, it is important to understand this because if you have a knowledge about this, you can truly express yourself without limitations. And of course, you can also improve yourself through this and be a effective person.
So as we all know, SOGIE stands for Sexual Orientation, Gender Identity, and Expression. Why is it important? It's because we all know na currently nadaga na ang mga SOGIE or mga LGBTQ plus community in the Philippines or in all over the world. So why is it important? It's because ibang people or some members of LGBTQ plus community na naka-encounter sila ng mga discrimination. Why is it important? Because it will help us, especially students, na ma-encourage or ma-educate na dapat we should have a fair treatment to everyone.
SOGIE, is what I am known, is an extension of human rights that exclusively pertains to people who have different gender preference. For example, gays, lesbian, bisexuals, transgenders, and SOGIE, based on my knowledge, promotes awareness. That is awareness, but uplift social equality among different members. So it actually SOGIE will include everyone. That includes strangers. So, but SOGIE emphasizes more on the rights of the minority, especially our minority, but the LGBT community, LGBTQ community, which is in the past has been overlooked. It's overlooked that sometimes judged for who they are, and so they're just human. They're just human, just like us. Same human, just like us. Same feelings, same emotions.
I am not quite aware of their challenges because I don't associate myself with engagements or situations that has no impact on me, and I know that is quite disappointing, and that is a trait of an ignorant person, but still that is just how I behave myself. And obviously I have no response to that situations because again I am quite ignorant, and so I just let things be.
I am fully aware of the challenges of LGBTQ. Although dili sila tanan mga challenges, but there are some challenges na most commonly na face ng LGBTQ plus community. For example, sa education, there are students na makafeel na there is a not equal treatment gani sa everyone, like sa mga gay and sa lesbian when it comes to especially sa uniform nga na gani, that there are some universities that they are not allowed to wear a uniform na para sa babae. Dapat for example, if babae ka, dapat babae ka dyan ang uniform, and if layaki ka, dapat pang layaki ang uniform. And there are universities na dili gani nila tag-allow or hesitate ang mga LGBTQ plus community para mag-wear doon. So when it comes to society, there are also mga, especially sa mga workspaces, like for example, if tumboy ka, di ko basta-basta makahanap ng work, or sa mga dyan, for example, ng gay, nga, something nga na. So there is a unfair treatment sa mga LGBTQ plus community.
So let's contextualize. So you mean education here in the Philippines, in our society, our country. So as we all know, our country is Christian country, or religious one. So it's embedded, integrated in our culture. The role of each gender. In the past, we already acknowledged two genders. Actually, gender and sex before are not separate. They are actually one. However, as modern times progress, so we learn we have sex, male and female, and this we have all gender spectrum. Not just a person can identify whether even though they are biologically male or female, they can identify transsexual, gays, lesbian, etc. Those who are part of the community. Okay, how aware I am. Okay, how aware I am. Personally, Philippines is still developing when it comes to business because people are still close-minded. But the fact there are also other group of people that rallies their rights to be Filipino that's also as part of a society. They're just also. Then in recent years, there are attacks. So actually, SOGIE in the Philippines was passed down in the year 2000. Maybe I think so. So protect the rights of LGBT communities. And then it was reiterated during I think so 10 years ago or 20 years ago. It's just recently because of the issues regarding gender role. But for me, it's still developing. Our society is still developing, but still developing. Then yeah, there's still many work to do when it comes to this. I myself, yes, I don't go against with actually support the community because it promotes equality and fosters equality. So yes, we are still going there.
As a student, the least that I could do for them is to be myself. Because by doing so, they would be encouraged as well to be their own selves, to show what they have, to show their abilities, and to show their own colors.
As a student, of course, we plays an important role, especially here in the university or outside the school. It's because we have taught about the SOGIE or the sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. And our teachers taught us what are those and why it is important. That's why we student kabagata ko say dapat kuhaton and dili ba dapat kuhaton. So why is it important? It's because pwede kita sa ato mga family or sa ato friends kita ang mag-educate sa ila na dili dapat nato sila i-discriminate, especially ang mga LGBTQ+ community. Dapat we should have we should promote an inclusivity and fair treatment to everyone.
Education is always the foundation of believe me, education is very important. If you want to change society, you must begin with the quality of our education. Yes, SOGIE existed many years ago, but still people are not aware of this law. I myself, I'm very aware of this law, but I have the opportunity to teach this to my students. So, as a teacher, sa background ko, it's my role to inject knowledge to the minds of the student. It's not about the person's choice, the person's who they are. It's actually giving this back. Because I do believe in the wrong things only happen in the actions, not the person. Pahit ka niya, automatically, nakakita ka. Or you're unique, automatically, it's actually in the actions. In the community, like LGBT community, I don't like to go against. I'm actually kind of support them. But there are times that I don't agree with the LGBT community when it comes to their extreme ideologies. What do you mean by extreme ideologies? Have you observed what is happening in the West? They used to go now. Here in the Philippines, you're gay. You are trans, you are trans. You are a lesbian, you are lesbian. There should be no bridges, say, pwede mong balikan. Automatically, nananap siya. So, I scoff with extreme ideologies. So, use of pronouns, mag-check na ang mga hormones, bata pa lang. It's against the personhood of the individual. Pero, when it comes to respect, good community, because they are also people. In fact, some of them are very good, very talented, very creative. So, there's nothing much.
So, as a student, the least that I could do for them is to be myself. Because by doing so, they would be encouraged as well to be their own selves, to show what they have, to show their abilities, and to show their own colors.
As a student, of course, we plays an important role, especially here in the university or outside the school. It's because diba, we have taught about the SOGIE or the sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, and our teachers taught us what are those and why it is important. That's why we student kabag katapo say dapat buhaton and dili ba dapat buhaton. So why is it important? It's because pwede kita sa ato mga family or sa ato friends kita ang mag-educate sa ila na dili dapat nato sila i-discriminate, especially ang mga LGBTQ+ community. Dapat we should promote an inclusivity and fair treatment to everyone.
Education is always the foundation of happiness. Believe me, education is very important. If you want to change society, you must begin with the quality of our education. Yes, SOGIE existed many years ago, but still people are not aware of this law. So, I myself, I'm very aware of this law, and that I have the opportunity to teach this to my students. So, as a teacher, as a partner, it's my role to inject knowledge to the minds of the student. It's not about the person's choice, the person's who we are. It's actually giving this back. Because I do believe in the wrong things only happen in the actions, not the person. Pahit ka niya, automatically, nakagay ka. Or you're unique, automatically, it's actually in the actions. In the community, like LGBT community, I don't want it to go against, I'm actually kind of support them. But there are times that I don't agree with the LGBT community when it comes to their extreme ideologies. What do you mean extreme ideologies? Have you observed what is happening in the West? They used to go now. Here in the Philippines, you're gay. You are trans, you are trans. You are a lesbian, you are lesbian. So, there should be no bridges, say, pwede mong balikan. Automatically, ilanang dyan. So, I scoff with extreme ideologies. So, I use the pronouns, mag-check na ang mga hormones, bata pa lang. It's against the personhood of the individual. Pero, when it comes to respect, good community, because they are also people. In fact, some of them are very good, very talented, very creative.
Some of the misconceptions that I've heard about LGBTQ individuals is that they are delinquent individuals. But as I associate myself with them, my view was rectified because actually they are kind and humorous individuals.
So one of the misconception gani sa LGBTQ+ community is that kanang mo lang gani ang other people na ang mga ingana daw tumboy, bayot at other is salot daw sa lipunan. Ingana, in which I found out that it's not true. So tagos naman ako dyan sa point out. So as what I have said, joy ako mga friends na members ng LGBTQ+ community. So, pareha sa ato, we should also treat them like us na they are not different, they're also a human being na kailangan nato i-treat ng fair and kuan sa everyone.
You know, very open. Very open. Very open, and I don't automatically believe to what other people say about LGBT or what is okay, siguro the best example I can give for you that LGBT are pushing to be to be treated as superior or actually let me say something that they're the correct reality is that they just want equality or respect. Misconceptions ko nila is that people, the LGBT peoples, they're asking for special treatments. That's actually a misconception. They are not asking to be treated special. They're just asking to be treated as normal. Yes, respect.
So I think SNSU can better support LGBTQ individuals by establishing an event or program wherein they do orientation about this topic so that students of SNSU can better understand about this topic and so that they can empathize towards LGBTQ individuals.
SNSU can do better to support LGBTQ plus students and faculty by supporting supporting LGBTQ plus members. If there is an organization or like a group of individuals na member ng LGBTQ plus community, they should accept them and consider them na part of the SNSU University. Like for example, by accepting them na join mga person or people or students na member ng LGBTQ plus community, dapat they should consider.
The SNSU is, the school is already in line. It is promoting inclusivity among its students and faculties. No? And I can say it's good already. We are heading there. Now we're becoming inclusive school, inclusive society. So I cannot say that, but there's always room for improvement. There's always room, but we are there. We're going there. Patulong ka lang.
If the needs of LGBTQ individuals are met now, then in the future, there will be less discriminations and positivity will prosper more.
If they are promoting the inclusivity of the SOGIE as a good role model to everyone, especially to the universities, to the other schools, and to the public. It's because if na-consider nila or if there is a support or inclusivity in the school, so therefore there will be a diverse community or there will be a diverse individuals na naadiri in which we all know that every one of us are very talented, especially some of the members of the LGBTQ plus community or the SOGIE. So by that, the school will be improved na and it can make a better example, especially to everyone.
We're dedicated. Then I believe our students, students here in the SNSU, na nasa ila ang respect sa pagkakibalo sa especially sa cause LGBT pero there are things to work back, especially sa mga faculties, because there, like I said, there's always room for good development.